It's almost sad that we it's almost sad that we don't have an intro song.
No intro song today? Hey, who cares? We got one better than an intro song. We are currently live in Minnesota. Minneapolis, baby. So, I mean, no intro. As you can see, we got the show on the road today, so stuff's a little bit it's our setup too, which is fine.
It's our road dog setup.
It's our road dog
Jesse James.
So a little back behind baseball. We traveled down to Minneapolis yesterday. We left Canada at, what time was it, guys? 8 a.m. Adam picked me up from my place at 4 a.m., picked up AJ at 3:15 a.m. Yesterday was a long fucking day. Let's just yesterday was a long day.
I think we are either we're fully recovered or we're just too excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited today. I wasn't feeling great yesterday. I kind of had a headache most of the day. I'm ready to fucking go today, boys.
And this morning when Ant wouldn't shut up, and I was like, you know how I know you're better? He's like, I won't stop talking. I'm like, that's exactly
I
what
barely
wanted
talked
to hear.
yesterday. Now we're feeling good, man. We're feeling good.
Yeah,
Perfect timing.
We're in minute. I'm moving around too much with this thing. Okay, I won't move.
You were definitely questionable
Yesterday,
yeah. But it doesn't matter.
I couldn't. I was. My head was just fucking pounding the whole time.
And we did that to screw up the defense. They didn't know. They didn't know if they should prepare for you.
Do you got sound?
Okay, we got sound right there.
We got sound. I started going into full mime.
What happened?
I don't know, guys. I'm watching the sound now. I'm not gonna. I tried to get your computer going, and then
Look
it
at these
working.
lovable goobers.
Hey,
We back.
Okay, now that we got, are we? There we go.
Yeah, we're good. We're good with the sound.
Let's
We're just gonna do this raw. There's no intro music on the live stream. There's no we don't have anything coming up on the screen. So whatever we're talking about, you're just gonna have to take our word for it. We have no visualizations because for whatever reason I can't get your.
Doesn't matter. Let's kick into it. They don't need. We're on the road to Minnesota. We just talked about traveling down here yesterday. We're live. We're gonna be heading down to the stadium in about an hour to do some tailgating pregame. We're just gonna talk about what we're hoping to see. Hopefully we see a Cowboys victory. The Cowboys got to get back on track after that loss to Green Bay Packers last week. Minnesota's coming off that huge win against the Bills with that improbable catch by Justin Jefferson, who we will be talking about, who isn't 100% today, which is great news for us. Justin Jefferson is not 100% today. That's great news for us. Hopefully, I'm going to say it. I hope he gets banged up enough that he doesn't make it through the full game. Is that bad to say?
No, it's not.
Why is he? Oh, turf toe.
Hey, that's a bitch. People always joke about this turf toe and say, like, Michael Thomas had it, and they kind of make digs at it, saying it's a toe. Like, you got guys out here with sprains and fractures that can play, but you got a turf toe and you can't do anything. I heard it's pretty. It holds you up pretty bad if you have turf toe.
Chat's asking, Justin Jefferson guaranteed a win. What's your thoughts on him guaranteeing a win against
we were gonna hop into that. So Justin Jefferson guaranteeing a win. I honestly love the fact that he did that. I don't feel like it plays out too well in the person's favor that often when they say that. Realistically, if they do win, it's like, okay, you beat the Cowboys, but the bigger story is now he's put a target on his own back now.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to do that?
In fairness, I think the target was always there. However, what better way to like fire up a defense?
Yeah, but I mean now if they lose, if Minnie loses, like obviously has a target on his back because he's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Right.
But now if they lose, people are going to be coming back to him saying, "Why didn't you just shut the fuck up? Why did you have to go out there and spout off and give a defense that's coming off a couple shitty games more fire, more bulletin board material?"
That's right. And speaking of which, the Cowboys really need to have a game. I think that like they need to bounce back defensively. And I'm not even saying, oh, we need to solve this issue today about the run game, because that's an obvious hole. I think what you got to do in these scenarios, we chatted a little, just a quick little nipple of it earlier, but I think you capitalize on where your strengths are and you bend as much as you can in those areas where you're weak. So basically, let's shut down the passing as much as we can, let them run the ball, and just try to stop them from making those big third downs.
Yeah. So I do like what you're saying, actually. I just watched a documentary about Jimmy Johnson, and it was talking about in their Super Bowl against the Bills, they just decided to let Thurman Thomas run. They said, we're going to play with 2 down linemen, and we're going to let him get what he gets, because they didn't want the no-huddle pass attack. So you're kind of saying something similar to that. Give them, like, maybe not just give it to them, but, like, don't try to change your philosophy.
Exactly. Let's scheme for Justin Jefferson in a passing game. And the shitty thing is, we know Dalvin Cook is an incredible running back too, but less big play chance potential if you focus on shutting down those.
The only thing with letting the run go is it's such a driving force to everything else you do. So like if they're killing us in the run, like I don't want that. I don't want another team to rush for over 200 yards against us in the third consecutive week.
No,
like it is super important to at least hold them in check a little bit, right? Like
it is, but it's a mentality thing too. If you're planning on stopping the run and you can't, that's a little bit more defeating than if you're like we're planning for this. So like, of course, don't like open up holes for them. But my point is, don't take away from the passing defense and bring someone up because that's when we got burned. That's how we got burned by Aaron Rodgers. They did that exact, and the Packers. They were running down our fucking throats. So who knows? They might have just continued to run. But they had 3 massive touchdowns to this no name, and I don't mean that disrespectingly. Now he's on everyone's fucking waiver wire, or was. But Christian Watson just went off.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, read online, you're going to get fingers pointing in all directions, but that's what we want. We have to avoid that scenario.
The scenario that we have, and they're actually talking about it in chat, Kahuna and EJ are kind of bringing some good points up about the Vikings. Obviously, we want to shut down Justin Jefferson, but then you have Thielen, who's open. Then you also have Cook, who's available. So right now, we have some 3 major offensive weapons, and I don't think you could just focus on your attention on one person. I mean, we did a really good job with Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase when we played against the Bengals.
Yeah.
It's a similar scenario in my mind. Now Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they're right up there together.
They're both very good.
Joe Mixon and Cook. I mean, Cook you could say is the better running back.
You could go either way. I could make an argument saying Joe Mixon's the better overall. You could go either way. They're very similar though.
The point is the weapons are there.
I got an important question.
Yep.
And I'm sure people in the chat want to know. I want to know what your guys' over under for how many beers you're gonna have. How many beers you're going to have prior to going into the stadium. And before you answer that, this is actually, I think, the first time we've ever went live on the cast without actually drinking.
Yeah, this is our
first.
I don't think this is the first time.
No intro music, no sound, which is common. No intro music, no graphics, no nothing on the screen. We're raw and we're dry. This is a dry cast.
Yeah, so if anyone that's listening for the first time, we're live in Minneapolis right now. That's why we don't have our usual setup. But yeah, we're going to be getting at it. But back to my question, what's your guys' over-under for how many drinks you're going to have before you go into the stadium?
I think I got a pretty easy one. I think I set mine at 6.5.
6.5?
Okay, so if we're just tailgating and we're not sitting down to eat food,
I got to eat something.
Okay, so if we're gonna sit down for eat food, I'll probably have
Time out. I don't think we can sit down to eat. I think we do need to just grab like a sandwich or something from Trader Joe's.
a sandwich.
And then eat, walk.
Adam hates that idea.
But do you want to waste Do you want to waste an hour and a half sitting inside some pub, or do you want to be walking around crushing beers and eating a sandwich that you bought from Trader Joe's?
I'll probably buy a $20 hot dog in the arena.
I'll eat in the arena 100%. Okay, so what's your over under?
I think I'll douse 4 drinks pregame. I think
that's
just
it.
just
classic.
Sorry.
You gotta do an over-under.
Outside.
4 is not a good over under.
No, but
4.5.
My thought is that it's going to be pretty cold outside, so drinking 4, and I'll probably maybe shotgun 1 or 2.
Ugh.
So I'll probably do 6.
Mine's gonna be low. Like I said, we were on mute when I was saying I'm coming off sickness here. I'm just feeling better today. This is the first day I'm feeling kind of back to myself a little bit. So I'm not gonna go too crazy. I'm gonna say 2.5.
Kilo says cracking water over there.
Yeah.
You know what? I go over on Ants. I go. Adam,
I'm going over on all of ours, to be honest. Yours was 6.5. Ad's was 4.5. Mine's 2.5. I'd be very surprised if we're not over.
If we add shotguns, I'm easily over 6.5.
Here's the thing: we're in enemy territory, and it's cold outside, even for us Canadians. So I'm not too concerned about the tailgating. I think we want to get into the U.S. Bank Stadium. I'd crack a couple more inside the stadium, and
I like to use every facility, all the washrooms. I like to walk around.
Alex needs to know the lay of the land for his facilities. Yeah, he can walk around, figures his move out. But I think we know that our Thanksgiving Day game is going to be the one where we're going to be in full force. We have our frickin' cooler backpack that we're going to be walking around. We're going to be interacting with a lot of Cowboy fans. Today, the goal is
sorry.
Yeah, today's to try to. That's okay. Today's to try. We're trying to find Cowboy fans and not freeze our balls.
But last night we went out, had some real interesting burgers. I forget the place, but the waitress sat down with us.
Blue Balls.
Blue Balls
Pub and Grill.
Blue Balls Cabaret and Cafe. But she said there was a lot of Cowboys fans.
Well, even on the flight down.
Yeah.
We flew out of Toronto, Pearson Airport, down to Minneapolis, and there was quite a few Cowboys fans on the plane.
Yeah, there was 2 guys that came from. We met right in the terminal. If you remember the dad and son, I guess maybe they're boyfriends. I don't know, but it looks like either or. And then there was.
Some people probably think about us. They probably think we're all boyfriends.
Three
there's
dudes.
a polyamorous.
As you can see, I have my hand on Ant's back because I just don't want him to break down and start getting too sick.
Thanks.
And upset, so I'm gonna rub his back the whole time.
Okay, let's hop into some stats here.
Here's a stat I'm gonna throw at you.
Throw them.
And it's really interesting.
Is it a Kirk Cousins
Tony
throw?
Pollard has 621 yards, leading the Cowboys now after those back-to-back games without Zeke.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook has 727 yards. He's only has 100 yards more, and he's playing every single.
I think he was hurt a couple games.
Okay.
But that does, I like you were saying, Dalvin Cook doesn't scare me as much as Jefferson does. I personally think our defense can step up and have a game where we stop both them.
And we were speaking of the over/under. The over/under here is 49 points
for the Cowboys game.
For the Cowboys games, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So the over/under for points scored today is 49. So that's pretty normal. Yeah. The Cowboys are actually favorited by -2. I don't love that. I don't like that we're favorited against a home team that's 8-1.
And did you see the NFL Network? I think it was NFL Network, but they did about 10. They have about 10 people who predict.
Yep.
And we usually like to see the Cowboys being underdogs. Well, it was about five people thought Cowboys were going to win. 5 people thought.
Ooh, it's like a 50.
So,
it's
again,
like a 50.
Something Ant hates.
Yeah, I do. So I see talking boys with the boys is in the house. What's going on, guys? And they actually brought up a good Kirk Cousins stat here. He's 2-8 versus Dallas all time. Justin Jefferson has 5 catches, 101 yards in 2 games versus Dallas. Dalvin Cook versus. So what they're basically saying here with these stats is the Vikings don't show up, but they're 8-1 this year. I mean, it's good to look. I like looking back and seeing. It's always nice to see stats against prior seasons and stuff, and stats prior years. But they're 8-1 this year, coming off a huge victory against the Bills.
Can you bring up their win streak? The last the last couple games they've only won by 1 point though. So all of their games have been won very very closely.
Let me go.
I would rather. Yeah. Okay, AJ. Let's see.
The last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks here. Chicago. These are all wins. They won by 7 points, 16-24, so a little bit of a bitter victory versus Miami. 26-34 versus Arizona, 17-20 versus Washington, and Buffalo 30-33 in probably the year's best.
So
the game of the year.
So they've been winning almost by like a score.
A
for
score
every single game.
for most games.
Well, they beat the Dolphins, who are, I'd say on this list probably they've beat the Dolphins and the Bills.
Yeah.
That's to me a more important stat than anything they did prior seasons.
But within 8 points, basically.
I just don't like the fact that we're -2 away against an 8-1 team. It just seems seems stupid. I don't understand why we're favorited. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because whenever they're looking at it, they look at the same way that you were worried about us last week because Aaron Rodgers is a Cowboy killer. You look at how Kirk Cousins performs against the Dallas Cowboys. You look at how Dallas does
we were
against.
favorited last week too.
No, I'm just.
That's why I don't. That's
True.
why.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like being favorited.
Yeah, I don't like being favorited either.
That was the first time the Packers had been a -5 at Lambeau in fucking who knows how long. I don't like being favorited when we're the away team, especially when we're coming off a win or a loss that we should have won. It just makes me a little bit nervous.
Another thing I want to look
Don't
at
be
here
nervous.
is
This is why he needs me to. He's not looking down. He's looking at the chat right now. So
here are the plays for first down per game.
Sorry, Alex.
Yep.
EJ says they beat the Dolphins without Tua. Not that it changes what you're saying.
They beat the Bills with Josh Allen.
That yeah, exactly.
I mean, they still,
Yep.
It's still the Dolphins. They still have decent players.
Right.
But I do see what he's saying. I do see what he's saying. That is a good point. Okay, AJ, what were you saying?
Please get this man and crack him. Fuck.
So passes and rushes for first yard per game. Minnesota are doing about 13 average passes, 6 rushes. I like that.
What, on first down?
Yeah.
So they throw it more on first down.
Twice as much for
What's
first
the
down.
Cowboys? How often do we throw or run on first down?
First is Dallas 10 passes. This is average per game, and 7 rushes.
So we usually pass on first down too.
It could be telling on where you are doing that first making that first down. Like if you're third and whatever. I think that's the other thing that is a big concern is that third down efficiency.
Justin Jefferson over 1,000 yards.
Over 1,000 yards already, yeah.
I honestly think though the way CD's been playing with Dak, maybe CD's over 1,000 if he had Dak the full year.
True. I mean, I think it possibly...
Or higher, closer to 1,000 at least.
Yeah, this is the relationship that Dak and... The chemistry that Dak and CD's had the last few games. It's getting better sans CD altering that route from that last game.
That was the game that he had his fucking career game, I would say.
Last week, yeah. It was 150 yards. I think it was 11 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Which I'm not gonna eat his lunch if he messes up like that, you know?
Well, I mean, it's still you can't be
the number one...
And
you can't be a number one wide receiver and hang out your quarterback to dry. You can't cut in front of. You can't run behind the safety.
I'm still
stay
sporting the CD Lamb today.
What we're talking about is last week when CD ran the route on Dak's second interception, where he ran behind the safety when he should have cut in front of him on a timing route. Yeah. But that's here or there. We're moving past. It's Minnesota Day, baby.
Two areas of concern that I never even thought about because Maybe I just don't think that much about Minnesota's defense. I don't know why.
Minnesota.
But Zadarius Smith has 9.5 sacks, and Harrison Smith, the Smith brothers.
The Smiths.
Harrison Smith has 4 interceptions. Both of those numbers are better than Parsons and Diggs. So.
Harrison Smith is probably one of the best safeties. I mean, that's the thing. He's a safety. Diggs is a cornerback, but Harrison Smith is a great player. He always turns up against us. And then his Smith counterpart on the line, 9.5 sacks. Ain't gonna scoff at that.
No, I mean it's been a the O-line has been a blessing for the most part of this season. So hopefully that's not as scary. But it just goes to show they have playmakers too on defense, and so that can't be ignored. You're gonna have to play some pretty damn good football on
fundamental football.
Shout out to Lila, a.k.a. Bandwagon Baba, for the super chat.
The first round is on you.
Beer money, LOL.
Hey, very nice.
First round.
Even when I'm 38 years old, my mom still gives me money. Thanks,
Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
So I'm pretty excited, guys.
Is that
but
we're done.
No, we got to get into. I think we got to get into some of our boldies. Or what do you want? Do you have any other articles up here that we want to chat about?
Nothing really. I mean, I
Oh,
guess.
we didn't because we didn't do a mid-game show.
Midweek show?
Midweek show, and I know we wanted to move past the Packers loss, but after that Packers loss, I wouldn't say there's controversy, but Micah kind of talking in the dressing room about stepping up and things like that. Do we want to?
I think we just move past the Packers game.
Okay.
But we can. Oh, sorry, I feel like I shut you down.
Yeah.
On a stage, you always got to go.
It's one of those days.
On a stage, you got to go with it. I will say this. Yeah, Micah came out. Him and Dalton Schultz came out. They kind of got in some people's faces, said some stuff. We'll see if it works out or not today.
Now, here's the only thing on
the vape is out.
I thought
it's master.
It's fully charged. Didn't Schultz also run a bad?
Schultz and on both of those interceptions, Schultz and CD altered their routes.
Yep. They instead of going where they were supposed to, they didn't run the right route.
Yeah. So what's Schultz doing, getting in people's face about, or is he going?
He's a pass to the buck.
It was me.
No, no. I think he's a passer of the buck. So
fucking buck passing.
I got 3 things
on the Vikings or.
Just a blog and the boys had an article here.
Can I just tell you guys a stat that EJ Savage said? I kind of want to get your take on it. It's about the Vikings. So he goes, Cook averages 5.4 yards per carry on first downs, and he thinks that the second down is where our defense needs to really step up. It's our money down, so we got to stop them from gains on that down. I think obviously if someone like EJ Savage, who brings up a lot of great points, you would hope that our defensive coordinator, Lieutenant Dan's looking at that, and our defensive team. I just want your take, Ant, since you were a defensive player in football. When you game plan all week and then stuff starts to crumble, what are some of the major factors on why a defense would crumble after a full week of prep? Now, obviously, they could be prepping the wrong game films. The formations could be different. Offense could be over-prepping and better prepping.
Personnel could be a big one, too. And it's one of those things. You get tired out. It plays into fact. Like say the Vikings, and this is just speculation. Say the Vikings, they start off the ball and they go on a 90-yard, 11-play drive. Then our offense comes out, goes 3 and out. Then the defense comes back and they get another big drive against them. Offense comes out and goes 3 and out again, which they did the last.
Defense is bagged.
Yeah, the defense is bagged, right? So. It's one of those things that you could prepare all you want all week, but then if your offense, and I'm going to call the offense out a little bit because it's happened, I think, twice in the last 3 games where they've started the game off with 2 3 and outs, which you can't do that.
You can't do that at all.
I can understand maybe 1 3 and out, but the back-to-backers and then having the team go on long drives against your defense just tires them out, and becomes a mental tired too, right? Like if this guy keeps every time he touches the ball, he picks up 10 yards.
Yeah.
It ends up, these guys are human, right? They end up getting frustrated. Then they end up trying to maybe do a little bit more themselves, and now they're not staying in their gaps.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's also a factor that is missed because it's not a tangible thing. It's not playing out on the field necessarily. The result is, and it's a big reason why a coach is so important. And I don't know if Mike McCarthy's this guy, but someone who can control the morale of a locker room in wins and losses and knows how to challenge their players. Not to bring up another team, but the Raiders, we just saw Derek Carr crying on the stadium about his team. That's just, you don't want to see that
ever.
Yeah. Even if it is happening in the locker room.
And the same way you don't want to see the reverse, which is Aaron Rodgers calling out smack and Sorry. Actually, Aaron Rodgers is a bad point. You don't want to see
fuck Aaron Rodgers.
You don't want to see Russell Wilson, who is just so tone deaf that the team doesn't respond to your quarterback as well. Like you could see personnel issues around there.
But it's about knowing how to motivate your team, and each method could work well differently. You want to obviously bring in players who are going to operate under how you like to coach. But that's just the thing. Like Mike McCarthy gets some flack, and it's funny. But maybe he has the ingredients that are necessary to like that's the intangible thing that we don't see. Is he good at controlling the locker room and keeping everyone moral health? But also you do want people to be able to be expressive and emotional, and so it's a tightrope walk. Right?
I think that Mike McCarthy doesn't have the intensity. I think what we would see is that the cornerback coach, people respect. They'll respect Lieutenant Dan. I don't think anybody respects Kellen Moore, and then Mike McCarthy, who should be that tone setter in the room. I think when people say we're going to go and win this game for our coach, I think that's not. I don't think Mike McCarthy has the relationship with the team.
But it's also.
Like you
But what
want
are you
him
basing
to.
that off
No,
of?
it's.
Nothing. Just assumption. Just hearing him talk and seeing him on sounds of the sideline, seeing game room film, hearing him talk afterwards. That I just don't see that type
What
of
about when
coach
he gets
intensity.
Zach? What about when he gets Zach Martin break stuff down? It looks like they're all having a good time.
Yeah,
I don't think Mike McCarthy gets enough credit for when shit goes good, and then I think he gets shit on a little bit
absolutely.
That's the point.
when shit
You're the
goes
coach.
bad.
You take all the shit.
As any sort of leader, if you like, maybe he doesn't really give a shit who you respect, and if he sees, okay, these guys are connecting with my coaches, I don't give a shit if they listen to him. This team runs through me.
Yeah.
And part of that is being like, yeah, go coach your defense, go coach your offense.
I will say that I just finished reading the Jimmy Johnson Swagger book, so I'm obviously coming
reading
up.
question mark
Yes, listening.
Audible.
It's reading again. This is like I got to get Ant some alcohol because he keeps just shutting me down this whole fucking podcast from the get go.
You said reading.
Yeah, but I'm just anyways. Doesn't matter.
really
Reading,
find his
listening. I just finished listening to Jimmy Johnson's book.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was very good.
Give us a rating out of 5 stars.
I would give it an 8 out of 10, and I could have been an
4
8.
out of 5.
4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Only because Jimmy Johnson didn't read or narrate the Audible book, and the thing that I was missing was some of his earlier. It was almost like there was chapters that I wanted to go a little bit more in detail, but all of the stuff about him building the Cowboys and taking them from a 1-15 record to 7-9 and then to winning the Super Bowls. It was all really good. Some decent insight into the relationship with Jerry Jones that we didn't see there before, but just hearing him talk and then
Any nudity?
lots of nudity in it. Lots
Any
of
drugs?
Yeah, this is where I took my shirt off and I just started
Baiting.
but yeah, anyways, I don't know where I was going with that.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
So we need to because we got to kind of speed this shit up because we got to be leaving here pretty quick. Well, let's go. Each of us. What?
Two other things. On the. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
See.
go
No, go ahead.
Go now.
No. I'm done. I'm done.
Go. 2 other things.
Nope.
Okay. So
Is it from chat?
It was from chat, but
Well, then let's hit
Nope.
it.
we're going to.
I'm gonna
If
hit
it's
for
from
chat.
your mind,
We're
we
gonna
don't
keep
want
rolling.
it. If
We're
it's
gonna
from
keep rolling.
chat, we want it.
Hey, we're gonna keep rolling.
his book will go down in the Cowboys Hall of Fame, but not himself.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
I just basically want to get 1 point from each of us. What we have to do to come away with a victory and make sure that we don't go 0 for 2 for live games together.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to this article and just read one of them. We already covered that they need to contain Justin Jefferson. And, in fact, I agree. We need to hold on to the ball. Keeping the ball out of the Vikings' hands. That's going to mean
Time of
not
possession.
throwing the ball 40-plus times, whatever it was last week.
Oh, 47?
We just saw
46, 47.
Was it this Thursday? We just saw, the Titans beat
Yes.
Green Bay, and they threw it 27 times.
Yeah, 20 less.
It's not like they rushed it 40 times, but
Nope.
they had more rushing attempts. So there's the recipe that I think they need to follow, and that's obviously we're playing.
So you're thinking time of possession. We got to have time of possession and not throw 47 or 46. Action and throw 40 times ever.
But I think those two things are
huge.
well. No, I think they like coexist. Like to hold onto the ball, you can't be throwing
Yeah.
it 48 times.
Yep. Ad, what do you got?
Right in line with Alex, and one of the things I was going to bring up in chat that EJ was saying is that Justin Jefferson, his target share has been over 50%. So if we shut Jefferson down, that's half of their offense, and that's a good containment. I definitely think that I am worried that let's say Diggs shuts Jefferson down, our other secondaries are probably going to get a little bit of their butts handed to them. So that's a big worry. So I think it's a big secondary game in my opinion today. And I want to see Micah be Micah from the first half of the season, not playing fucking linebacker. And
What was up with that last week?
Last 2 weeks actually.
I know they're trying. What they're trying to do is they're trying to move him off the line to help with the running game, but then they don't give the guy any protection. They had him playing middle linebacker and with no blocking, and then it's such an easy block for a guard to pick up. Like if you're gonna have Micah playing linebacker, let the guy be free range. where the other front 7 are picking up blocks, and then Micah has the free to roam, right?
That experiment.
Get him on the fucking
done.
line. Get him on the
Put back
fucking
to how
line.
he was.
Yeah, look at how everybody else plays when he's on the line and he's doing Micah things. Is D-Law out today?
Yes.
Okay, so D-Law
D-Law's out.
D-Law being out, we definitely need Micah up on that front.
Probably see a lot more Sam Williams today too then, which isn't a bad thing. The Twins.
Yeah, that's what EJ's bold prediction is. Sam Williams sack fumble, Diggs 2 interceptions.
Nice.
So I do believe you put Micah on the line, you will see Sam Williams step up. I hope we get a good game out of Bland if he ends up playing most of the reps.
I'm pretty sure Anthony Brown's back. I think he's out of concussion protocol, which is huge for us. Anthony Barr's back. Looks like Zeke's back, which is good. That's going to help out everything. What I want to see the most is I don't want to see a team run for over 200 yards against us for the third consecutive week. I really, really want us to stop the run. Do I want Justin Jefferson to have a heyday? No, but I also want us, like AJ said, control the clock a little bit better, and that starts with not allowing them to rush for over 200 yards. So I really don't want to see a team rush for over 200 yards again. I think we have to stop it. If we don't want a chance of beating this team, they have to rush for under 200 yards.
Right.
Boosh.
Boosh, baby.
Boosh, baby. Now, do we want to get into our bolds?
Yeah, boldies score predictions, and that's out. We will be live once we're back from the stadium. We will be heading to the stadium in probably like 45 minutes here. That's why we're kind of trying to speed this up a bit, just because we got to get ready and head down and be on the live. Yeah, and if from the stadium.
If you primarily follow us on YouTube, check out our Instagram or TikTok because we'll be posting story stuff there. But we will be vlogging this entire week. We'll be doing something on YouTube once or twice every single day this entire week.
So if you're just listening to audio,
and you want to see some visual actions, we're going to be ground floor, not at the game. We'll be up in the nosebleeds, but we'll be boots on the ground. We'll be boots on the ground, Eric Serrato style at US Bank Stadium tailgating with some Viking fans. We're going to find our Cowboys Nation, and then we're going to be road tripping to Dallas this week. Spreading that CanFan love.
So just search Cowboys CanFan podcast on YouTube or youtube.com/Cowboys CanFan podcast.
And if you're watching this and you enjoy hearing us talk, make sure you watch those game day vlogs because we put a lot of heart and soul.
Okay, let's get our
body.
Let's get our boldies here, guys.
Okay, so bolds or scores?
Either one. I don't care.
Either one. Oh God.
Go both.
If Turpin takes one back, y'all got to storm that field.
We snuck in some screech.
Bold prediction.
I'm thinking we're gonna see a close one. It's an away game. Just gives me a little bit of, it's not a far travel day, which is because we're gonna be doing the same trip, driving, probably not flying in Jerry's private jet, but I'm going to say 24-21 Cowboys.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's close, yep.
Then right into a bold prediction. Oh, well,
AJ always gets fucked with being the first one to have to say it.
Okay.
It gives us time to think of what.
I've been thinking about one.
It's going to be an odd game. I think we're going to see Tony Pollard rush for 100+ yards but not get a touchdown, and Zeke's going to be under 50 yards but have 2 touchdowns.
Okay. There it is. Score prediction for me, I'm going to go, I think we get back on track against Minnie. I really am expecting the win. Do we get a 30 burger? I'm going to say we score 34 points today, and we kind of figure out our stuff on defense again. Micah Parsons comes up big a few times. We're going to hold them to 34-24 Cowboys. And my bold prediction, I'm going to go with the chat there. I'm going to say Turpin touchdown. Turpentine touchdown. It's got to happen eventually, right?
Yeah.
Any specific?
Yeah, I guess it's not bold enough, is it? I think
you
got to
put
at least
the
punt return
after week 10.
Okay, Turpin.
Special teams or
fuck, you want bold? Turpin 2 touchdowns.
Okay, and no,
just 2 touchdowns.
That's
no
bold.
Category. Okay, I like it like that. Mine is going to be close to what Anth said. 31-21 for them boys. And I do feel like I'm going to get that clone zone sweep today.
Oh, you're going for the clone zone, the trio.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't know what the clone zone is, it's Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, and Peyton Hendershot. They're the clone zone because they all look so like if you just erase their numbers and you were watching them, you wouldn't know who was who.
Yeah.
Now, an alteration to the bold is that I want 3 tight end touchdowns today from the clone zone because McKeon is technically a clone zone.
Oh, so he can count into there?
So it has to be 3 out of the 4 of them we're gonna see three of them out of the 4 are gonna get a touchdown.
I'm all right with that.
Fair.
I think that's a fair enough.
That's a boldie.
That's a boldie. I'm excited. I hope we get a win. This is our first time at an away game, so I'm interested to see how we are. I think there's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans there. I do, but we are going to be up in the nosebleeds. It's going to be interesting to see how well we're received because I can only be myself. Like I get excited when I watch football games.
I do think,
and I do my best to not get punched out.
I think a lot of fans. I think we will see a lot of Cowboy fans there today, strictly because I feel like people did exactly what we were doing like early on in the season. The tickets for this game specifically were fairly priced fairly
compared to now, yeah.
Cost effective. They were
cheap.
Wow.
They were cheap when we bought them.
I don't know why I said cheap prices. Fuck my life.
Yeah, we went as soon as tax.
When we bought tickets, they were like liquidated.
They were liquidated. They were on clearance. But now that the Vikings are 8-1, I just fucking hate the fact. I think I didn't feel good this morning looking at the pregame when I saw Cowboys 6-3.
Yeah.
Versus
I'm okay with it.
8-1.
I'm okay with it. Let's get this. Is good.
Made me.
This is good. We're 6-3, soon to be 7-3, soon to be.
CanFan Nation is also 0-1 for live games, so we're changing that today.
We're trying to.
This week it's going to be we're going to be 2-1.
All right. Well, we should get going. We will be on later after the game. So anyone in here right now, we will be hopping on later tonight. I don't know what time. It's probably going to be around. My guess is like it's going to be later.
Yeah. But we will absolutely be doing a post game tonight. So if you're up late,
follow the socials at Cowboys CanFan on TikTok and also on Instagram. I will be posting videos throughout the day of our shenanigans we're getting into around the stadium. Be sure to check it out. That's going to be your best spot to follow along with us.
Oh, hey, and guess what? Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.